Hey everybody, thanks for checking out my broadcast. My name is Jonathan. If this is your first time checking out one of my broadcasts, a little bit about me. I'm 39 years old, married. We have four children, and I have been overweight my whole life. This past November, I decided that I really, or at the end of last year, I decided I needed to do something, and so I created this challenge for myself with two big goals in mind. The first one being that I was going to stick to it for 3 years. I was going to stick to focusing on my health for 3 years, not just till I got to a goal or until I was through treatment or uh, but long enough that it would become part of my life. And then the other big goal was to lose 300 pounds. A lot of times I would set a goal to put myself around to get to where I'm around 300 pounds or 285 pounds. And I've hit that goal a few times as an adult or throughout my life. And I feel like when I get to that goal, I end up still being pretty overweight. And so I set a goal to lose 300 pounds to get myself under 220 pounds and to be closer to a normal weight, or according to a standard BMI chart, I would be in the overweight category at that point as opposed to the obese category. Carrie's checking in saying, "Hey there, Mr. Fa." Hi, Carrie. I hope things are going well at home today. I tried calling multiple times with no answer. Um, I'll, so, since yesterday, a little bit happened. So I did my stream at 2 o'clock because I had scheduled a doctor's appointment to get my arm looked at. I went and saw the doctor, an orthopedic surgeon, and I took a couple x-rays. I don't know if he looked at the x-rays or not, but he came into the office. He poked around my arm a little bit and right away was like, you tore the distal bicep tendon and it needs to be reattached, or I won't have a lot of strength. There's a different type of bicep tear that you can have where it comes apart at your shoulder, and that is, I believe, a more common tear to have, and a lot of times I think that they don't do any surgery for that. But the this surgery, he was not, he was like, we got to do it, we got to do it pretty quick. And so I am actually going to be going in for surgery tomorrow. And so I will not be streaming tomorrow afternoon. Carrie says there are mattresses in the family room. I might have given the kids my phone and snoozed. So Carrie, yeah, that's funny. And that's why you didn't answer my calls all afternoon. I had to go to the doctor's office today, and that's why I was calling Carrie. So I went last night. He said right away, "Hey, we're going to have to do this surgery, and I have availability on Wednesday for that." And so we set up the surgery for Wednesday. I got a call from the surgery center today saying that because of my height to weight ratio being what it was, that they needed to check out my throat for for sleep apnea, or for having to make sure that I didn't have like the ball that hangs down in the back of my throat. I had to open my mouth and they had to look at it for a second. They had to make sure that I could move my neck all around. Just simple stuff. But so I did that at the doctor's office today. and I am all set for surgery tomorrow morning. And Carrie does not know this yet, but our kids are staying at Grandma and Grandpa's house tonight because I have to be at the surgery center at 7:10 in the morning. So, an obese uvula. Yeah, something like that. So, uh, so yeah, I kind of got that on my mind for the last day here, or for the next, since I left you guys last. That's pretty much been my focus, is dealing with this and the surgery. Carrie says woohoo to not having kids. But you're gonna have an even bigger baby needing your help, I think, for a little bit, maybe. The brace, so they fit. I'm going to end up needing to wear a brace after the surgery, and they already fit me for the brace, and I have that. It's crazy how everything, how they set everything up. But the brace, I've worn a few different braces through because of other surgeries I've had, but this brace is far and away the most advanced brace I've ever seen for my arm. It's wildly adjustable in many ways, and it's going to be locked in a 90-degree angle for a little bit, and so it's going to make doing some of my job more difficult, but I'll figure it out. It'll just I'll have to figure out where I can put the keyboard and still be able to type and do some things. But so it's a little nervous about having a surgery, especially since there was like no MRI or anything, and not that an MRI would give the doctor any more information than he was able to, kind of get from feeling the bicep and the arm. But he sounded like it was a procedure that he'd be able to handle pretty easily, or it wasn't too invasive. I did try to look into like watching a video on it, and it shouldn't be too bad, but it is going to be somebody reaching into under my skin and pulling my bicep tendon down. It'll be sore for a few days. So anyways, other than that, not a whole lot more going on. I've been fairly inactive, just trying to not do anything stupid and hurt myself any further. I was working in my warehouse here, kind of putting things away. And I tripped and fell, and it was the most awkward fall I've ever had, because I probably could have caught myself with that's funny. I got a note on my hand. I probably could have caught myself falling, but I didn't want to hurt myself anymore. And so I kind of tucked that arm down and rolled into a harder fall than I probably needed to. But this is going to be a real pain, having my arm strapped up for a month. I'm not looking forward to it. So the other thing, I guess, I did post a couple update photos yesterday. I was pretty excited about my just the difference between my photo from when I started to my 9-month photos there. And I really got a lot of great response. A lot of people very interested in what I was doing. The two places that I posted on Reddit were on the Super Morbidly Obese page and then the fasting page. It's crazy having, a lot of people congratulating and a lot of people making comments, and it's cool. I hope that I'm able to reach people and they're able to find what works for them. But there's things that people get caught up on with the fasting, with the electrolytes, and it was actually interesting that I had made a comment. Somebody asked me a question about the distilled water fast that I did, because I mentioned it in in my main comment, I guess. And so I elaborated that I had kind of found out about that through the True North Clinic. And I'm not sure what else the post said, but just kind of that's how I even heard of doing a distilled water fast. And the fasting page ended up pulling down that comment I made talking about the True North Clinic. And I thought that they pulled down my whole post. So I kind of got annoyed and sent them a message and was like, what the heck? It's annoying to put stuff up and answer questions for people and then just have the post removed. And that's why I don't like posting on progress pics, because they just remove my posts. And so I kind of asked why they pulled it down, and then they came back and said that they didn't pull the whole post down. It was just that comment. And it was because I was talking about a clinic that they believe promotes unhealthy fasting techniques, which I think is really funny, because of all of the fasting, of all of the people on their page, people who go to the True North Clinic and fast at the clinic couldn't be doing a safer, controlled environment fast. Most of the people on the fasting Reddit page are in their living room fasting for, like I did, and unsupervised, don't do it at home kind of fast. And so when I mention a clinic that does supervised ones where once your numbers are out of the range, they make you eat or whatever, but because they do distilled water fasting and they don't promote electrolytes with their fasting, they don't allow them to be. I don't know if maybe it was the way I phrased it that caused them to pull the post down too, but it just seems silly to censor anything on a fasting subreddit about one of the top fasting clinics in probably the world, but in the country, like one of the few places you can go and get and do a medically supervised fast. So, and then the other is that a lot of people have a hard time wrapping their head around the diet. This post more than any though, I had people comment that they were considering a whole food plant-based diet or considering eating similar to the way me and Carrie eat. And that, I think this is the first time I had multiple comments where people were saying things along the lines of, you've inspired me to try giving whole food plant-based, or I'm doing, or they're saying that they just converted to whole food plant-based and they're happy to see somebody who's doing well with it. I think it's becoming more popular. I think it was becoming more popular before I switched, or me and Carrie switched over to a whole food plant-based diet. We just, it's just wildly different. And it's so hard to explain how good it feels to be eating this way. And it took a while, it took figuring out, and it took time to do it. But we found, meals and a regimen that work well for us. And how cheaper is it? You're going to have to, I don't know what you're at. What if it's cheaper than what? I forgot what I was talking about, maybe. So but yeah, switch into this diet. They Um, it's just crazy. And I end up eating so much in the evenings and feeling so satisfied. Uh, and again, like I said yesterday, it's just such a guilt-free kind of thing. Yesterday we had miso soup for, the leftover miso from the night before. Probably one of my favorite meals that we have. And then this morning we had oatmeal. Carrie was still complaining about her going whole food plant based diet. Is it cheaper than when you were on a standard American diet? Oh yeah. Yeah. So I don't have the grocery bills from what I eat now, but I know when I went through um when I was doing my fast, and if you look at those videos, the last 10-day one, the 10 last ones would be more. But I went back and I looked at a previous bank statement and just calculated the fast food that I was eating, um, and putting that and tallying that throughout the month. I ended up switching the months up towards the end, but in I think the month that I did all the math for, it was I think September of 2020. I spent for on myself fast food for breakfast and lunch $427 or something like that. That did not count the gas station like candy and purchases that I would make on the way home, or the meals that we would eat together, like if we got a uh, takeout pizza or went to a restaurant and ate. Um, and so the it's cheaper than the standard American diet that I was eating by far. The things that does take more time of to eat this way, it does take more of your time to prepare the food. I'm very lucky that Carrie uh, prepares our dinners for us, and she takes a lot of time and care to do it. Many people that eat this way, they meal prep like on a Sunday, where they chop up a bunch of the vegetables or get some of the basic things together so that they can eat. But one thing I would say, if you want to make it cheap, you can make it very cheap to eat this way. When I'm making food for myself, during the days, I a lot of times will buy a can of corn, with no salt added, or a can of pineapple, um, and eat that as a snack. I had, we'll buy a bag of mandarin oranges and I'll eat a few of those. So, I mean, it just, those are simple things you can do. The other day on the way back from our trip, I was really hungry. We stopped at a gas station that had a few other things. It was a little bit more than just a gas station. It had some staple items. And I grabbed a potato and I threw it in their microwave and cooked it for 5.5 minutes. And, you know, it was a 69-cent lunch for the baked potato. Um, uh, Carrie's saying that you can do whole food plant based for a lot cheaper than we do, with lots of frozen veggies, rice, beans, and potatoes. Yeah, and you make it simpler by having the rice that you can just steam in the microwave. And bananas are crazy cheap. Yeah, I usually have a banana or two a day. Carrie, we put it in our oatmeal in the morning. If we ever make a smoothie, it's in our smoothies as well. And So some of those items are pretty cheap. There's more expensive items that we put into some of the dinners that Carrie makes, but it it doesn't have to be expensive. Yeah. Um, so that's kind of yeah, the best I can answer with that. Um, I'd have to sit and kind of look, and look at our grocery bill, but it's just so different now because we don't. And I'm so happy I'm not going to fast food, especially now with there's worker shortages. I imagine that if I was getting, uh, I joked about oranges being like French fries. That every now and then when you buy a bag of oranges, you get a bad one, and every now and then when you would go buy fast food, you get a bad thing of French fries. And I'm betting that the rate of bad French fries is increasing because of the issues they're having with workers and things like that. But anyways, I lost track of where I was gonna go, and I really didn't have much notes because I've been trying to really get as much work done today at work here as I can before I have surgery. And I know I'm gonna be really useless for a couple days after surgery, so I've been just cramming to get that stuff done. The diet's been going good. Big salad tonight in preparation for surgery. Yes, that was a request I had. I don't know. A lot of the books and a lot of everything that I read talks about how important green leafy vegetables are. So I'm going to have a big green leafy vegetable salad tonight. Hopefully I can get a whole spectrum of vitamins and nutrients in my body, and that way I can recover quickly from surgery. With marinated portobello steak on top is what Carrie's saying. She's getting fancy with it. We've been eating since what was it? It's been since the 4th of July. Maybe it was Father's Day. We had made portobello mushroom caps like hamburgers. Or Carrie eats them like a hamburger on Ezekiel bread. I like them just like a steak, just cutting them up and eating them. So I'm sure that's what she's talking about with that. But yeah, so we I have to there's weird things I have to worry about with my diet because I know tomorrow after the surgery, they're going to offer me different things to drink and different things to eat. And I'm going to, cause like when Carrie had surgery a couple weeks ago, after the surgery, they offered her water and I think maybe Sprite, clear liquids. And then, they offered her maybe Jello or saltine crackers. And she ended up turning all of those things down because none of them are things that are on our diet. And so it's going to be, but I don't think Carrie was out for her surgery. I think she was awake, where I'm going to be out or they're going to knock me out for my surgery tomorrow. So it's going to be crazy, crazy. And I won't, like I said, I won't be on tomorrow. I don't know if I'll be on Thursday. I'm not going to make that call. I'll try to get on by Friday, but it might be at an odd time too, just to fit in, being able to do it or figuring it out. Yeah, I don't know. It's crazy to think about having it, having surgery tomorrow and getting knocked out. So anyways, I want to thank you guys for supporting me on with the broadcast and watching my videos. If you haven't already, make sure that you do subscribe to the channel. Click on the bell icon, turn on notifications so you get alerted when I go live. I have an Instagram account, which is at Fasting. That's FAHSTING. And then we also have a Discord. Carrie's better about posting in the Discord, so maybe she'll post updates on the Discord about how surgery goes for me tomorrow and things like that. But if you want to join the Discord, that is down in the description below. We also talk about some of the meals that we have and some of the recipes, some of the meals we eat and some of the recipes that we like. And so I'm going to get out of here today, try to get a few more things done so I'm not buried when or after the surgery. So again, thanks guys for all the support. I'll be back on in a couple days, and I'll try to update on how I'm doing. If you haven't started a diet, get started right now. There's no reason to wait.